Yeah. So what? It's your boy, Bits and Bobs. Yes, people. Midweek international break, and that's just what we're doing. We're breaking. Unfortunately, if you're a Tottenham fan, we ain't breaking from your club. Tonight, the wrap up, myself, Vinci, Gunnar, and Prime present to you Ryan and Patrick. How are we doing, guys? You all right?
It could be better.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I feel good, man. Let's go. Let's do this.
Good.
I'm good.
Listen. Pleasantries, obviously. Ryan, if you could just introduce yourself and just let people know where they can find you and stuff.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at RyanMadden1991 and YouTube page Fifth Officials. I had Gunner on there before the North London derby, not after, just before. That's it. So yeah, follow me there.
I'm playing. And Patrick, what about you, man? How you doing?
Yeah. It's Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, see the P. When you see the P, you know it represents T. Let's go.
Romantic. Like, man's got bars. He's got bars.
Now what? That is serious.
Do that. Rewind. That's a pull-up.
Can we get a tutorial on that, Patrick? Can we get a tutorial?
Yeah, so the P stands for Patrick, the T stands for Tyrant, and obviously the T also stands for Tottenham. So yeah, when you put it together, you get that. You get me?
No.
So your club is in your name. That's powerful.
Yeah, I like it. Shout out to Young Sam in the cut. Please make sure you smash a like. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Obviously, like I said to you, it's a Spurs edition tonight. So obviously we got some Spurs fans, some Bios TV, aka Mel, sends her apologies that she can't make it. So listen, I think the way we're going to do this is also as a discussion, okay, and ask about what's happening at your club. You two are very sound-minded Spurs fans, so we appreciate you coming on. Listen, we're just going to delve into it, okay? The first question, well, this is to everyone, but Patrick, I want you to go first, okay? In today's game, you know, we label the big six and stuff. But instead of the biscuit, what's a big club these days?
Yeah, that's a good question because, you know, I've been asked this quite a lot recently. Are Tottenham still in the big six? Are Arsenal still in the big six? What constitutes a big six club? And I guess league positions help. Obviously trophies help as well. The financial firepower of a team, their pulling power, who they can attract. Obviously the players at the club, the managers at the club. I've been asked if Tottenham still a big six club. My answer is yes. We haven't finished outside of the top six in the last 10 years. So if you check it, we've always finished six or above. And we're always obviously fighting for the rest of the bits and bobs with all the other teams. I know
but when you say you're fighting for, Patrick, what exactly are you fighting for? You're going to say European competitions there?
Yeah, I know, you killed me with that.
My man's fighting for his life.
Yeah, I'm scrapping. I'm swinging. No, I mean, to be fair, like I said, we've always finished six or above in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
This last season was a bit of a shambles, but we ended up finishing six, which obviously, you know, it looked better. The position looked better than our actual performances. Right now, we are six. So as bad as it's been, we're still within a shout of the top four. We're only 3 points of Chelsea. We're only a point behind West Ham, we're fifth. So as bad as it looks, the perception isn't as bad as the reality. But obviously, we all know that this league this year has been a madness. And to be fair, other than Man City, I'd say probably other than Man City and West Ham, who are obviously balling out of their skin, and no one expects them to be fifth, and potentially Leicester, who are a good club, but we wouldn't say that they deserve to be in the top four on merit if you look at their team on paper. Everyone else has been shit. Everyone else has been really poor. So the fact that we're still in it gives us a lot of confidence. We're in a cup final as well. So it's not as bad as it seems, but it is bad. Don't get me wrong. It is bad, but it's not as bad as some of the media and some of the, you know, as the fans may like to say it is.
Do you know what? Thank you for that, Patrick. And Ryan, I'm going to ask you the same question. Okay, Ryan. I mean, it's not as bad, but it is bad. That's the verdict we're getting from Patrick. What's your thoughts on a big club?
I put it down to trophies personally. I know we probably felt like a top 6 club because we've got consecutive years Champions League. What was it, 4 or 5 years straight? But if Leicester now get 2-3 years Champions League straight, then they will jump above us with the Premier League trophy they've won already. The only reason we're still top 6 is Arsenal's league form. But then again, they still win trophies. We don't. That's the problem. They're picking up FA Cups and we're going out to a manager who's just gone to prison for 5 years. This is the problem now. It's not. And with our board as well, I don't think we will be a proper top 6 club. I don't think we've got it in us to win the big trophies or anything like that. I can't see it happening. I think Leicester will come and overtake us now in that top 6.
But like Patrick said, Tottenham are still a big club. Are you agreeing with him that it's still a big club? That Tottenham are in the conversation when we talk about the big clubs in England?
Yeah, but I would say top 7 now. I would have to add Leicester into that.
No. Forget that. We're not doing Sentiment FC right now.
Right.
Are Tottenham still a big club in? Are Tottenham a big club in England? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not that big.
No, you're the Arsenal fan. You're the Arsenal fan. You know,
not that big.
What's your thoughts? You know, what is a big club in England right now?
Like Ryan said, trophies, and Patrick said pulling power and stuff like that. I don't think there's a couple of clubs that think they're a big club. Tottenham are one of them. Newcastle one of them. West Ham are one of them. Why are you big? You're big clubs when you win trophies and you can sign very good players. Who's the last world class player you guys have signed?
Technically, Gareth Bale.
Yeah, that's to compare us to Newcastle and West Ham is an insult because they're clubs that are pretty much have been relegated, promoted. We've always been in the Premier League. We've always, like I said, in the last 10 years, we finished in the top 6.
But are you bigger than Leicester?
Yeah, we are. We've won.
Why?
I mean, I checked because if you check our trophy count, there is a myth that Tottenham don't win trophies. And don't get me wrong. Yes, in the last 10 years, our trophy count has been abysmal. Don't get me wrong, it's pathetic. But we are still one of the most winningest clubs.
Guys, I'm getting a bit of background noise. Is anyone playing anything in the background in their house? No? Okay. Sorry, Patrick. Carry on. Yeah, Vince, right. It's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I can't. No, I'm not watching Netflix.
Okay.
We're still and are winningest clubs in the UK. I mean, we're 7th on the trophy list.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Prime?
Okay, let me try and mute. Let me see if it's me. Hold on.
Prime?
It's not me.
It's you, Bobby. It's you.
Is it?
Yeah.
1 2 1 2 10 10 1 2. Is it me?
Yeah, it's either Patrick or Bobby.
It's Patrick or Bobby.
1 2 1 2 testing. Might be me, you know.
It sounds like those old walkie-talkies.
Yeah, it's like feedback.
Mute your mic a second, Patrick.
Wow. Your mic is moving like Tottenham right now.
Is it you, Prime?
No.
Did you try and mute yours?
Not me.
It's got to be one of us.
This stream's moving a bit Spursy right now. A bit mad still.
But listen, Patrick. The show goes on. Carry on.
So what I would say is that we're one of the most winningest clubs in the UK. I mean, we're on the trophy list. So even if you're talking trophies, we're still up.
It was Ryan, just for the record.
I think it was just quiet over there.
So yeah, we're still up there with the most successful clubs in English history. So our pedigree is still there. We've won European honours. We have won the league. Don't get me wrong, it was a long time ago. So we are still a big club in my eyes.
Okay. No, I hear what you're saying. That you're still a big club. I think you're a big club. Okay.
Nottingham
You have
Forest
a
a
big
big club.
stadium. Yeah, I mean, they have a big stadium. It costs a lot of money. You know, they've got a big manager. You've got a world-class player, 2 world-class players in Harry Kane and Gareth Bale. I mean, look, you guys can boast and you can say it with your chest. And I'm not even trolling. I'm saying that like you've approached. You've signed a big world-class player. You've managed to keep Harry Kane, a world-class striker. Vinci, for you and Prime, is there anything you'd like to add to what a big club is?
But Bobs, you know when you mentioned a manager, you signed like Mourinho, you signed a big manager. Does that mean Everton's a big club?
I think Everton are a club with big ambitions.
Okay.
No, but if we're going by Patrick, he said that they're a big club because they got 26 trophies. I believe Everton have got 2 less. So technically, Everton are as big as Spurs. They now have Ancelotti as their manager.
Yeah,
so
Everton have got
they're a big club.
Big ambitions. Don't get me wrong, and they are moving in the right.
That's what I feel. Like Spurs have big ambitions, but they're just not. Not in that.
I don't think
our league finishes show that we are a big club. We finished in the top 4 consecutively, I think, in the last 3 years. Obviously, we've been in the Champions League for the last 4 or 5 years before last season. So so it's a bit different to Everton, who have been mid-table, floating around 7th, 8th, 9th. So I think there is a
but if you're counting trophies from back in the day, then surely Everton and Aston Villa could do the same thing.
Yeah, they could argue on that front, but then again, like I said, their league positions show that they're not on the level of Tottenham. That's the difference.
Yeah, Patrick, I'm with you on that one.
Can I cut in?
Yeah.
You can interject.
Can I cut in? If you're saying you're a big club because you finish in top 4, that's the minimal expectation. I personally think if Spurs fans want to class themselves as a big club, I think you're failing.
Yeah, and we are.
Because in the last, so you're not a big club then. Me personally, in my lifetime, the only club in the Premier League that I recognize as a big club, along with Chelsea, is Man United. I don't look at I don't look at Arsenal as a big club.
What about
Liverpool? And they're bigger, and they are definitely bigger than Spurs.
Yeah,
I don't really look at Liverpool as a big club, and they're bigger than Spurs.
Liverpool,
I don't see how Spurs fans think they have this right of being a big. I know you're trying to achieve that. You've got your stadium, you've got the training facilities, you've got Kane, who is this season probably being top 5 players in the world, top 3 players in the world. But you haven't pushed forward, and you're not at a point where you have one of the best managers of all time. Yes, he's aged, and you can say he's past it. But when your board should be backing him and pushing forward to go win these trophies, you're not doing that, or you're not pushing to do that.
Patrick Ryan, do you want to come in here?
Yeah, right.
No, he's not lying. We do fail massively. That's the problem with Tottenham at the minute. I think that's the problem we've all got. We see we could be a much bigger club than we are, but we seem to fail at the last hurdle every time we need to get there. And like I know we'll talk about it more later, but my biggest problem isn't Mourinho. That I laid out at the board's doorstep every time.
Ryan, can you say that again? Because I want to be able to clip that. Your actual problem is not Mourinho. That's what you just said, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, he's not my biggest problem at Tottenham. No, that is the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. The biggest problem isn't Mourinho. It's Daniel Levy.
Okay, so you have a problem with the board that hired Mourinho, but you don't have a problem with Mourinho. Okay.
Because they hired Mourinho, but then they didn't really back him. Yes, we bought our signings in, but Mourinho wanted a top-class centre-back. He was screaming for Diaz before Man City moved for him and got him. He was screaming for Skriniar at Inter Milan, and Skriniar wanted to leave because he wasn't in Conte's plans. We messed about. He ended up staying. Now he's playing and balling out. And in the end, a day or two before the transfer window closed, we ended up getting Joe Rodon. No disrespect to Rodon, because he's looking like a decent young centre-back, but he's not the calibre we needed to push on. And
it's
every
not right
time
now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Jose Mourinho needs ready-made players. He's always had a solid backline, and he builds off that. Our backline is a joke. Defensively, we're a shambles. The fact that Mourinho, we're 29, 28 games in, we still don't know our best centre-back pairing. It's been Dyer, Sanchez, Toby, Rodon, Tanganga's even played at centre-back. We've been a mess. And that is down to Daniel Levy not backing Mourinho in the positions that he really needed to be backed in. We had the same problem with Pochettino. Pochettino wanted Jack Grealish. We messed about. Aston Villa were willing to sell him literally a day or two before we lowballed them. Then they got him. He said, "No, you're not selling him." We've messed about on so many occasions, and it is Levy. Levy's always been the issue. Poch stated back in 18-19, I think it was, that we needed to rebuild after the Champions League final. It would be a slow, a painful process, but we need to rebuild. Again, Levy didn't back him. We ended up doing what we did, and obviously Poch got fired. So the problem is with Daniel Levy. And when Jose Mourinho first got signed, I was gassed because I thought, maybe that now, because we all know Jose is a manager that needs money. He needs to be backed. He needs ready-made players. So I thought, maybe Levy's gone in a different direction and he's understood his problems of the past. But as you can see, he hasn't, and it's still the same old shit. And we are where we are. We're going backwards, basically.
Well, go on, Vinci. Wrap it up on that one.
Okay, just to touch on that. I mean, we've talked about Jose, and we've seen his journey since returning back from Chelsea, right? He's just come from Man United. They struggled to back him the way he wanted to be backed. He sunk Chelsea after winning the trophy, right? Sunk them down to 10th the next season. Sunk Man United after he came second. Are we seeing a pattern here where it's just like Tottenham's are chewed a bit too much in terms of getting him in for where they're at? I mean, you should be able to look at your club and be like, okay, this is a manager that we're getting. This is Jose Mourinho. He's coming from Real Madrid, the big spenders, the big clubs. So he's used to just be like, show me the money and I'll get you a trophy. So has Tottenham just gone and been like, okay, he's great. He comes with the accolades, but they've not really thought about what it means to have Jose Mourinho as a coach,
Man thinks this is Love Island, bro.
Salam, my brother Aman. Hey, man, it looks like Christmas just came early for him in the comments.
but yeah, no. In regards to what you were saying, I think it was a gamble I think for us it was a risk we were willing to take. We haven't won a trophy in donkey's years. We know Jose Mourinho does come with baggage, but he is. I mean, obviously we don't know when this Tottenham stint will end, but everywhere he's been, he's won trophies. And we knew that there could be baggage, there could be problems, but it was a sacrifice worth taking in our case because we haven't won something. And we know even Jose at Man United, even though the Man United fans weren't happy, he won in the Europa and a League Cup, which is still a good return in most people's eyes. So
I mean, just a segue from what you're saying there, Patrick, right? But prior to Jose, because you said earlier that when you hired Jose, you thought, okay, there's some ambition here. Okay. What I want to ask you is this. When Poch departed, okay, did you feel an intent from them? Did you feel like an intent to think, okay, we're going to have some ambition, we're going to do something? Because obviously the Champions League final, okay, you got beat. We know how that happened. Harry Kane shouldn't have played. I think everyone can admit to that, Obviously, Liverpool, Vinci, whatever, So I mean, from you sack him, okay, you sack Poch, then it's like, what happens now? Then you get Mourinho. What was the feeling there in the Tottenham camp?
Okay, cool. I'll go. I was ecstatic with the appointment. Like you said, I thought it showed real ambition. because we're paying 15 million a season, which is a lot of money for a manager. And obviously we know Jose's credentials. So even though, you know, some may argue, well, a lot may argue that the game has passed him by and he's not really the guy he was. For us, it showed a lot of intent to get a manager of his caliber to come in when he did. And obviously, you know, so I thought it showed ambition. And I thought it showed as well that Levy was willing to back the guy and that we were going to start hopefully winning trophies.
Ryan, what about yourself, though? I mean, look, Jose Mourinho comes in. I'll never manage Spurs. Obviously, Chelsea had sacked him and stuff. He comes in, serial winner. You know what? Say what you want about Jose. He wins trophies wherever he goes. What was your feeling? You know,
he was just brought in to finish the job that Pochettino couldn't do. Basically, at the end of the day, that's why when I see on Twitter all the time that he's not coaching the players right, he doesn't have to coach them. Poch coached them for 5 years. He's just coming to finish the job. That's what Poch did the 5 years of coaching. Mourinho's just been brought in now to finish it. So I didn't mind it to begin with, but you knew that was a relationship that would never work.
Why would it not work?
We are not a club that spends money at all. Never mind.
Right.
We've had the odd player, Ndombele, big money. Sanchez was big money, but Mourinho wants 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, a backup striker, someone else, another backup attacking midfielder. We're not trying to bring that in for him. He doesn't want to come in to bring youth up and train players to win something. He's coming in to get 2, 3 trophies within 2 years. That's it. That's what. And Levy's not the man to give him that money. He never was. He's never going to be that type of chairman.
Yeah. So what you're saying, right? Look, rival fans, we've got Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. When you guys heard Mourinho was taking over Spurs, all jokes aside, did you think they're going to win a trophy? Because I did. I said to myself, they're going to win a trophy. Gunnar,
what did you think they were going to win? What did you think they were going to win? A League Cup?
Yeah, I thought a League Cup.
League Cup, FA Cup, they're going to win something
within the realms of possibility. Yeah, a League Cup or a Europa League. Look, when you look at the squad, and Spurs fans got really gassed and try to blame it on Mourinho. You look at the squad. Other than Kane, how much quality do you actually have?
Oh, it's been the same squad for 5 years.
Before we go into Kane, let's answer the question. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
when you heard Mourinho are taking over Spurs, okay, did you think Spurs are serious now? They're going to actually try and compete, win a trophy?
Yeah.
A trophy as in the Carabao Cup or Europa League, yes.
It doesn't matter what trophy it is, Prime.
Yeah. No, but that is a trophy. I didn't think the FA Cup or the Premier League, not a major one, but yes, a trophy.
I mean, the FA Cup is still a major honor, but I'm just.
Oh no, it is. But I mean.
Of course, it's not a major honor because you just got kicked out. Yeah.
No. I mean in terms of other teams that are going to prioritize importance of the bigger teams. They're not going to look at the Carabao Cup. That's why they should prioritize that in terms of winning it.
Okay. And Vinci, what about yourself? I mean, Jose. Before I get Gunnar to conclude on it.
I was when I saw Jose, I was terrified. I won't even lie. I saw the Tottenham's team. I thought they would do more than they've already done. I was like, this team's about to have a dangerous winning mentality with Jose, because Jose with any team is dangerous. They're unpredictable. So I actually was very optimistic and quite scared. I was actually thinking, where's Liverpool going to fit in? Obviously top 3, but I was like, top 4, definitely Tottenham's going to be top 4 with Jose there.
Okay. Yeah. So Gunnar, I know you said what trophy, but you must have thought they've got a serious manager. They're going to compete. They're going to win something.
No, just for the fact that what happened was Poch overachieved and basically got into people's heads that Spurs are this amazing team. And I think they thought when they get Mourinho in, he's the final piece of the puzzle. But did nobody listen to what Poch was saying in 2019 when he was saying after the after the Champions League final that they need a rebuild. So he knew that the team was at the end.
Right,
the only thing that's keeping Spurs up there right now, if everybody's being honest, is Harry Kane and Son. That's literally what's keeping Spurs close to top 4 right now. So, and we knew they weren't going to be able to get anyone in to back them up, because who's going to want to play second fiddle to Kane? Anyone that you sign knows they're second fiddle, so you're not going to get anyone of quality because they know they're not going to replace Kane or Son. Then, if like they were going after Fernandes, who's Fernandes going to choose out of Man United and Spurs? Regardless, Spurs could have finished higher than Man United for the last 10 seasons, but who's the bigger club? Man United. So he would have always gone to Man United, and I think that's going to be Spurs' issue from now till forever, until they win a Premiership or till they win a proper trophy. It's going to be the same, because who's going to want to go to them?
But it's not even that. When you look at their squad and assess it, like Spurs fans saying that I think this season they've performed exactly to expectations. I think
don't get me wrong, because I want us to talk about that. I want us to talk about that. And my next question to the Tottenham boys, Patrick and Ryan, right? Was it interesting the fact that Jose, in the era of managers don't get time, we know that, okay, even though Poch had 5 years, managers don't get time. We see Chelsea have a culture where they sack managers after 18 months, 2 years. You know, Liverpool, different project, because obviously Klopp, you know, we saw what Klopp was trying to do. Arsenal, you know, after Wenger, it was such a poisonous chalice. I mean, anyone that took over that job was going to struggle, you know, to try and do what Wenger done over such a long period. But when Jose came in, guys, right, do you feel like the whole fan base was lifted? Did you think we're now going to be taken seriously? And also, did you think you were going to sign some big players? Because like the comments have said, like Gunnar said, who's going to play second fiddle to Harry, and so on and so on. Patrick, I'd like you to go first.
Yeah, I mean, the fan base was divided. You had a lot of people that were for Jose and a lot of people that were against. The people that are against, they're never going to be happy because he's managed Chelsea twice. So some Spurs fans will never be able to get over that. Doesn't matter who the guy is. He's managed Chelsea twice. You know, for them, he's a rat. They don't want him at the club. I was looking at the bigger picture, and I was happy that Jose came in because he's a winner. He has a winner's mentality. And I thought he was able to get across the line and show that. I mean, it gets to a point where you're listening to Pochettino drum it in your head for 5 years, do this, do that, and then the players are looking at him, but you haven't won us anything, and you haven't won anything. And every time you've got to a final, a semi-final, or a quarter-final, you've messed up. You haven't done the right. I mean, when we played Chelsea in the League Cup final, he put Son at left wing back. Just weird things like that. Obviously, in the Champions League final, he started Harry Kane over Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura just scored a second half hat-trick. There's no way he should have been dropped. So Pochettino, as great as he was, and as much as we loved him, he's not faultless. He has to shoulder some of the blame. But when Jose comes in, we all knew he was a proven winner. He's certified. So for me, I was happy that we had taken that next step. So again, the fan base was divided. Some were for, some were against. Obviously, I've got a lot of friends who are Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Leicester, Liverpool. They were worried. They thought that this was going to take us to the next step. It hasn't materialized as of yet, but there's still a lot to play for. It's not like the season's done and dusted. So obviously I say it reluctantly, and I'm praying, I'm on my knees. I'm hoping we get that League Cup, and I'm hoping we finish in the top 4 and salvage something of this shambolic season.
Look, do you know what? Like, I think it has been a shambolic season, not just for Spurs though. We need to, we need to. It's not been a shambolic because I mean, the current defending champions. That's a shambolic season. That's a shambolic season, you know. So, do you know what I'm saying? Ryan, coming to you. Obviously, what Patrick's saying, like, you know, try and win a cup. Shambolic season, you know, Jose's the manager. What were you thinking, man? Did you think finally, you know, we're gonna start doing some serious things?
Not even a little bit. Not one bit of me.
Wow. Different contrast. Okay.
No, it's like I always go back to the board. It's just always going to be the board. Like, they are the root of all our problems. I knew I was divided when we got him, not for the Chelsea reasons. I couldn't care who he managed before. But you have to toss up whether you want to now win things with Eric Dyer as your first choice centre-back, or you want to rebuild the squad that's not won anything already under a different manager. It's not just because Mourinho's come in is not going to win us a Premier League or push us further in the Champions League. It's not possible.
But
for
why
that
do you think
squad.
like that, though? Why do you think like that? Because when Jose Mourinho, came to my club, I was like, we're going to win trophies. We're going to play horrible football, probably, but we're going to win trophies. Okay. And I accepted it. And I think to myself, I've supported Man United, bantering. I used to bully people in the playground about their football teams when I was younger. You couldn't chat to me about football. What's your team won? And I think to myself, it doesn't say how well you played on the trophy. It just says your club's name. So when he came to Man United, I was like, well, we're going to win trophies. And he did do that, to be fair to him. So, I mean, I'm confused. Like, he's an upgrade from Pochettino, no?
But you guys have got money. What have Spurs got?
But listen,
it's about money.
We
It's about money. But it's about money. Look, all the teams that Mourinho has won at, with the exception of Porto, which is by far his biggest achievement, he's had world-class players. Every team that he's been at. Apart from Harry Kane, who like Son is very good, but he's not world class. Every other team that he's been to, he's had.
Well, Gunnar, it's not just the players he's had and the money. It's the fact of even at Man United at the beginning, anyway. For the first, I think, year or two, the fans all fell in with his philosophy. Jose has this like mentality of.
You think he cares about fans?
Jose has this
mentality
of
fans. He doesn't care about people.
No. Listen, he has this
It's
mentality.
polarizing.
Gunnar, you're acting like he's done you dirty or something.
Let me.
Like he killed his dog or something.
No, but listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying.
You don't know what I'm saying. Let me finish. He has this mentality of it's us against the world. Our club, our players, everyone's all against us. We all got band together and fight everybody and attack. And maybe not in terms of football. Spurs fans didn't fall in line with that immediately because they both said it, that there was polarizing views from the fans immediately as he came in. That also doesn't help things. Whether or not there's fans,
it's got nothing to do with it.
I know, but that also plays a factor. The fact of their players can bottle a 2-0 second leg lead, and the players don't take any stick for that. They blame Mourinho. The fact they can go into a North London derby, their biggest game every season, 1-0 up, and they bottle it and lose, and it's not their fault. It's Mourinho's fault.
Yeah, but it's because the players are not good enough. Like that's what it boils down to. Like people, because of what Poch done and got these players, he got them to a level, and that was their peak. They're only going to be on a decline. The only people that can get any better realistically in that team are Harry Kane and Son. They're the only two that can carry this flag for Spurs. If you look at the rest of the players, there's some good players there, and that's about it. You're asking Mourinho to come in, and you like Spurs fans. I said you've got Liverpool, you've got Man United, you've got Chelsea, you've got Man City. What divine right do you not even have to even be thinking about Champions League football when you've got these teams? Chelsea have just spent 200 million on players. They've just spent 200 million pound on players. Liverpool Liverpool could have won the league 2 years running if it wasn't for Man City being amazing 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So where was Spurs actually fitting in with having the same team that they've had for 4 years?
Football doesn't work like that. We know football doesn't.
What do you mean it doesn't work like that? So is that not what's happening now though?
No, football doesn't work like that. West Ham,
no, but is that not what's happening now?
Patrick, can you put the volume on your mic up just a little bit? I feel like
we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Like there's a level of arrogance coming from Spurs fans that I don't know where you've got it from. It is.
Go on, Patrick. Yeah, reply to that, please.
The belief is where we are finished. The belief is the football that we see. The belief is in the performances. So when you're saying, you spoke about Liverpool and all these other teams, Man City, football doesn't work like that. Otherwise, Leicester wouldn't have won the league in 2016. And football doesn't work like that. Otherwise, West Ham wouldn't be 5th right now. West Ham have no.
But have you improved your squad though? Have you improved your squad?
We've tried.
I think the squad's improved. I think the squad's improved.
Yeah, we've
Not by much.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think the squad's improved.
Which team right now has a better squad than the top? Like,
Listen.
except
Go back
except Man
to the
City.
start of the season. Go back to the start of the season and read all the tweets that were going out when Spurs signed Højbjerg. Go back and read all of those tweets. Nobody.
Now.
Yeah,
Listen,
but
that's now.
You don't have Bob, you don't have a defensive midfielder at United, so of course you take
Right.
Højbjerg.
At the start of the season,
I rate Højbjerg, but
I rate
he's
him.
I rate Højbjerg, but he's not of a level.
who else
Boys,
came in? Who else came in?
Boys,
Regular.
I
Good left back.
have a simple question. Apart from City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, who has a better team than Tottenham?
And
Everton.
Chelsea.
Everton.
So
Leicester.
already they're 5th place. So
How?
Vinci, listen to what you just said. We have a better team.
On
Leicester.
paper players.
Leicester and
I'm not talking about how they've performed. I'm talking about team on paper.
Yes.
Okay. Break it down. Break down Spurs versus Leicester, and I guarantee already the whole of Leicester's defense, Spurs would probably want them right now.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Let me go.
Who you keeping?
Michael.
Regular? Who you keeping regular?
Michael starts. Out of Spurs' back 4, or Leicester play a back 5. But the only one you're taking is regular, because Leicester have Johnny Evans. They have
at the beginning of the season.
Even at the beginning of the season, yes.
Ask the question at the beginning of the season.
James and Ricardo over who?
Leicester's midfield. Leicester's midfield is better than Spurs. In Ndidi, Telemans, and
would you take Ndidi or Ndombele?
I take Ndidi.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I would.
No, you wouldn't.
No, boys. But listen to what he's saying. At the start of the season, none of you were rating Ndombele last season. Like it was just pure. It was only this season.
I personally thought he was unfit. It's only this season that he's been really getting rated. So if we're being honest, at the start of the season, nobody would have said that. Even now, if Spurs had to pick, they're lying to themselves if they wouldn't be picking 6 Leicester City players in their starting lineup.
Look.
Let me say this.
First of all, Sissoko over Ndidi. First of all, in terms of
kick him out. He doesn't know football. He doesn't know football.
No. Gunnar, let's be real.
They don't even like
right?
him. They don't even like Sissoko. So how are you saying Sissoko over Ndidi?
My problem with this conversation is that we keep saying who we take from Tottenham. That's not the right question, because guess what? If we ask who we take from Arsenal, we would only pick 2.
Yeah, but that's not the conversation.
That's not the right question.
Yeah, but I admit that. I admit that. I'm humble. Arsenal's dead, but these guys are not being humble. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm getting at.
You're slating us for. I don't really get. Are you talking as a football fan, or are you talking as an Arsenal fan?
I'm saying realistically. I'm saying realistically, over the teams that we picked, you guys, I said you'll finish 6th this season.
Mm-hmm.
Over all the teams at the start of the season, and you're on course for that. So I'm saying when at the start of the season, I said you're going to finish 6th, and you're on course to do that. So I don't know where these high.
Gunnar, who did you pick? Who did you pick for top 5 then? Let me hear it.
Leicester, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool, and then Spurs and then Arsenal.
Ryan, what was your top 5 or top 6?
No, not even that. Where did you pick
No.
Spurs
I want to know.
this
Yeah,
season?
because I'm assuming Spurs was in that. So who's your top 5, top 6?
My top 6 was Man City, Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, Leicester. Spurs 5th.
Spurs 5th. Okay.
Thank you.
That's mad.
For
For me, I had Spurs 7th. Like 6th, 7th.
Are you trolling? Or are you being serious?
I'm
being
That's
serious.
what I'm wondering.
No,
Like,
Bobs. I don't even like what Bobs is doing right now because this isn't the same Bobs that was talking 2 hours, 3 hours ago.
Wait.
Bobs, you're changing your tune,
Frank,
Bobs.
who's
You're
your top
changing your
six?
tune. Don't do this.
I can find my tweet. I can find
Frank, who's your top six? Don't you have them memorized?
My top six was
Speak your mind, Bobs.
my top six was Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Man United, Everton, and Spurs 6.
Okay. So let me conclude this here. I think that under Jose Mourinho, Tottenham were going to win a trophy. They weren't going to win the league. Okay, they were going to win a trophy. I honestly thought at the beginning of the season that they were going to win Europa League because it's Jose Mourinho. Because I think he looked at that squad and thought, we cannot win the league as of other clubs. And the FA Cup and the Europa League was a realistic target, okay? The way you're playing right now, we're going to get into that. And what Gunner's saying is that I think Tottenham don't have any God-given right to say we should be anywhere, just like any other club right now. I think what we find astonishing, we're going to get into that, is some of your fans, the way they are. And, that's one of the reasons why we've actually called this stream, because we wanted to have the discussion with Tottenham fans like yourself. Because for me, I'm going to go into it. When you get Jose Mourinho, you back him, no matter what. You just back him. You accept the circus that comes with him. You accept the media coverage, rat-a-tat-tat, whatever. But you back him 100%, right? Now, obviously, we've not seen that. He got Doherty, whatever you want to say about Doherty. He was competent at Wolves. Different position, but he was competent at Wolves. Reguilon won the Europa League. He was one of the best left backs in Europe. Højbjerg done his thing at Southampton. He was competent. And obviously Harry Kane, no one's shifting Harry Kane. So I thought, okay, you can do something here. However, recently, it's when shit hit the fan. And, I don't know whether it's Jose or the players, because I think Northland Derby, the players let him down 100%. Europa League, the players let him down. Hugo Lloris came out and said the manager told us to get an early goal so we can, ease off and so on. So they didn't do that, right? But listen, we're going to go into the second half of this, okay? And beg your pardon, Patrick. See Jose Mourinho, okay? You said earlier, yep, I'm happy that he's here. We're going to be serious, show some ambition, yeah? Do you think the players accepted that? Because we saw all or nothing. We saw what Toby said. He said that I've never won a trophy. He wins trophies. Do you think they accepted the style of play? And they accepted him?
I think from the beginning, they were open to accept it because Jose Mourinho is a proven winner and his CV speaks for itself. But obviously,
Patrick, you said from the beginning. So are you about to say that that's changed?
Yeah, I think it's changed because the results are not going the way that they should do, and the performances haven't been great as well. So when you get a combination of both, it's very hard to then get everybody to buy into that philosophy. If you're winning games, ugly, 1-0, sitting back, whatever you want to call it, if you're winning and you're, first in the league, you're getting to cup finals, you win, people will accept it. It's not the most prettiest and eye-catching or scintillating football, but you're getting results, and it's a results-based business. But when we're crashing out of cups, losing in the manner what we're doing, giving away 3 goals leads, of course players aren't going to buy into it. Dele Alli, you can see, hasn't really bought into it, didn't really accept the treatment. You'll see other people angry about how they've been treated, not happy. Harry Winks, we all seen he's not really happy with his minutes and so on. So yeah, and as it's gone on, you're getting a bit of a division in the camp. And I do believe there are players that are still, believing in Jose, and there's others that right now aren't. And I think with football as well, players know that they're probably going to last longer than the manager. So I believe there's players waiting to see Jose go, and then hopefully another manager comes in and they get another chance.
Is that not sad though?
It's the reality that we live in now, man. Unfortunately, players do last longer than managers, and you see it. Players will throw managers under the bus and know that sooner or later the manager will get the chop, and then they go again. And Jose, if we would have lost on Sunday, Jose would have been fucked, and we would have heard it from everyone. Luckily, we got the win. We weren't great in the first half. We got the goal against the run of play, so we were quite lucky. But after we got the first goal, we were quite comfortable. Villa didn't really do anything to us after that. We won the game. It eases the pressure off him. As you've seen in the table, things are still tight. But if we would have lost that game, oh my God, it would have been a circus up until the next game. So Jose,
Ryan, what do you think? Ryan, I mean, do you agree with Patrick?
Yeah, exactly that. I personally think if fans were in the stadium, we would have a different manager by now. I don't think he would have lasted this on. That's the problem when you go for a manager. You've got 3 sets in your club. You've got the boardroom, the players, the manager. Fans call for the manager because that's the only thing we can change with voices. Your boardroom aren't going to pick up and leave. You've only got 2 windows to get rid of players. They're still going to play. They're still going to get paid. So if half of them, if they're not playing, they're still getting 150, 200 grand a week. But now it's happened and he's still there. Like Patrick said, you've got Dele Alli, Harry Winks, Bergwijn. They're all not playing, not getting minutes. They're complaining. They'll all have been to the chairman by now to say, I'm not happy with him. Why is he not playing there? Do something about it. And when you've got players in the changing room complaining like that, it's going to affect other players. So that's the divide in the camp at the minute. Obviously, we don't know who is with him and who's not, but I think that's why we saw the change of Sundays, playing Vinicius up front instead of Dele Alli up there, or he's having the 2 young kids on the bench because I think he's trying to work out now who's can
with him.
Yeah, who we can trust, who's left him.
But Victor, what do you think about that then?
Can I add something on that? And for me, this spells doom for Tottenham.
Is Jose in trouble, Vinci? Is Jose in trouble or Spurs in trouble?
I think Spurs are in trouble because it's the same pattern that we saw in Chelsea. What Jose's the thing with Jose is a package, right? We know his antics, we know he's egotistical and stuff like that. And he hasn't really evolved over the years. He's not a developmental coach, right? So what he does is he goes into a locker room, he pins down about a majority of the players that he knows that have won before, have the mentality of a champion, and he gets them.
Struggled with that in Tottenham, though. No, that's not even trolling because if
I'm getting there, right? Okay. So he goes there, gets them on his side, and they pretty much run the locker room for him. He's done that in Chelsea, does that in Manchester United. Now that's why he brought in Zlatan. Big piece. He's come to Tottenham, right? There's a reason why Hugo Lloris is the captain and not Harry Kane, right? Hugo Lloris has won the World Cup. He's the only person that has tasted victory in that locker room. And perhaps Gareth Bale, who's just on transit, as we've just learned.
Regulon, you could say Regulon with the Europa League.
Regulon, kind of, right?
I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're trying to get at. Yeah, okay.
Right. So that's why we have Lloris that would back him up and pretty much kiss his ass till the end of till his contract. That's it. But Lloris is not enough. He's tried to do that with Harry Kane as well. Harry Kane is just all about, look, you know what? Do whatever makes me better. He doesn't have enough of the locker room for him to be able to run the locker room. He doesn't have champions in that locker room. Now, that aside, if you have a split locker room like he does have now, it's going to be a Chelsea type of situation. It's going to be bad. So it's better off that you cut him off now, or this next season, you back him fully in the transfer market and he gets rid of those people he needs to get rid of and he brings in whoever he needs to bring in because they need a cleansing.
Oh, the divide's going to get worse now, though. Like, after this Bale interview, this will just be like what he did with Pogba at their training ground. If it was something he did on Instagram or something like that. If you remember when the cameras caught, that's what it's going to be like. That will happen. I know he's only on loan, but you've got Bale who's now upset, who's close with Rodon, who's close with Davis, who just the whole environment will just get worse for him after this interview of a loan player because he does not like certain players talking out.
Yep.
As soon as Bale's left the training ground now, and
The timing stinks, and the fact that Bale did it after not playing on Sunday, that speaks volumes. Obviously, Bale, we lost in the North London derby. Bale started. We crashed out of the Europa League. Bale didn't start, but he came on and he got like 60 minutes. He got 30 minutes before the game ended, and then he got the extra 30 minutes, in extra time. Bale did nothing as well. He got dropped for the last game we won. You can see Bale wasn't happy about that. And then, they asked him a question. He didn't have to answer it. I know, again, on Twitter, people are saying, but he was asked a question. What should he do? Come on.
Professionalism, right?
Exactly. Managers and footballers are asked questions all the time, and they always skip around the bits that they shouldn't answer.
But then Mourinho doesn't.
And the media doesn't. The media knows how to. The media knows how to work Mourinho's teams as well.
The thing is, he's the one person that doesn't skip the question. So it's a collision cause because he doesn't skip the question. He will say that guy wasn't good enough. That guy wasn't good enough. And the problem Mourinho has is, like we've said it loads of times. Pochettino already said we need to rebuild this squad. So when he said a massive. So he was talking about. He was talking about getting rid of 7-8 players, but these 7-8 players are still playing there now. So when I'm saying that these players are not good enough, I'm not trying to mug it off. I'm saying what Pochettino has said. He knew these players weren't going to be able to get him any further than what he got. So you've got Davis, you've got Dyer, you've got Harry Winks. That they all he noticed they got to their peak. Sissoko, he got them to as far as he could get them.
Yeah,
but what they thought was going to happen is that because Mourinho is a champion, he's going to be able to get an extra 5-10% out of it, which is what everybody probably thought. And then this is why Spurs fans thought maybe he can get us into the top 4 again, and we may be able to challenge for trophies. But if you just step back for a minute, I'm not saying that the players are crap, but I'm just saying they're not good enough for especially what Spurs are trying to do. They're not good enough, and there's 8 or 9 of them. And you just had to watch the documentary, and you just can see, that it was always going to be trouble. And he's lucky because Kane is just humble. Kane just wants to play football. Son is just happy to be here playing football. If those two players if they were arrogant, if they had the arrogance of Gareth Bale or whoever, Spurs would be in mud. They would be in mud. But these two just want to play football, and Harry Kane his performance levels are never going to drop. Even if he wants to leave, his performance levels are never going to drop because that's the sort of player he is. He's a winner without actually winning, which is like it's unheard of.
It's crazy. Okay, can we talk? Let's talk about today's news. Okay, listen. Gareth Bale came out today, basically said, "I'm only here because the gyms are closed. So I'm using you lot as a treadmill, right? I'm using you lot as a treadmill. But
it's a pandemic."
Yeah. I'm like, do you know what? I'm glad Patrick, right? I'm glad we can laugh about it because the turmoil and the meltdown on Twitter today, group chats galore.
But this is what I'm saying. This is the arrogance because I'm sitting here speaking to these guys and I can see that there's a humbleness in. Obviously, they're going to protect their team to the death, but there's a humbleness. There's an arrogance that he shouldn't be saying these things. But at the end of the day, this is what we knew from the start of the season. And even if he was going to stay, would Spurs be able to afford him?
No, Gunnar,
Gunnar. Okay, go ahead.
Gunnar, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but I don't believe he should have come out and said it because things are going on.
But it's because it's Mourinho. That's the only reason why he said it, though. Like, if it was Poch in charge, do you think he would have said it? I don't think he would have said it. I think it's just a tit for tat thing. And Bale's a player that he thinks he's bigger than Spurs. Like that's my honest
bigger
opinion.
Than Real Madrid, though. The way
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he thinks he's bigger. He's bigger. He thinks he's bigger than what he is. To be, if we're going to be dead honest, Gareth Bale should, in my honest opinion, he should be up there with Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi.
But he's not.
He had that much ability, but because of his attitude, that is why he's now on loan at Spurs. Like, he should be in Real Madrid's first team, scoring hat-tricks, scoring bicycle kicks in Champions League finals. But
Gunnar, you know what cracks me up about what I read? Gareth Bale is a massive joke. I'm sorry. you're coming from an era pairing with Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best players. Benzema's done that for years, lived under his shadows, and still managed to deliver. But Bale's been there, and he's feeling like, oh, I'm too cool for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
When you have the likes of like Ronaldo, Zidane, all these people that have come from like Real Madrid is like the mecca of football, essentially. So you're there and you're feeling too fresh, and you come to Tottenham, right? Guess what? You're feeling too big from Tottenham. You came from Tottenham in the first place. You think you have a place in Real Madrid? You think he has a place with Zidane's Real Madrid right now with the way he's playing? It's a joke.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed. Well said. Said. Everything you said there.
That's what getting paid 600 grand a week does to you. That's when you get offered 600k a week. You just, I don't know, it must just boost his ego. But you want the main man at Madrid. He was underneath Ronaldo. He's come back to Tottenham, still on the same wage because obviously Madrid are paying the majority of it. But now he's still not Tottenham man because he's behind Kane, who weren't there when he left. I don't know if he forgot about Tottenham and didn't check up on Tottenham and thought it was back to the same players that he left.
You know what I think? I think he thought that they were going to have a connection, him, Son, and Kane. He thought he was going to go there straight away, play every week because they brought him in.
He was the man gonna
but he thought he was going to go there and be. I think he thought he was going to be one. I think he thought like it was going to be Firmino, Salah, and Mane, just the Spurs version. But Spurs' performances and Jose Mourinho meant that was never going to happen. So it was doomed from the start. That the whole again. I don't think you can blame Mourinho for much of this. I think he can, obviously, because, like I said, he picks the team.
They will, though. They will, won't they?
But when you break it down, I totally agree with everything Ryan says. It's essentially, it's the people that hire these people. So everybody gets onto Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but who hired him? Everybody gets onto Arteta, but who hired him? That is the issue. If you're gonna hire these people, you have to do it on their terms. You have to give them what they need. You're bringing in Jose Mourinho to win trophies, and you're giving the guy Doherty for £15 million.
Kind to be honest, I actually feel bad for Mourinho in this, and it's in this regard I
do as well. I do because he's been given scraps. Yeah,
he knew what he was walking into.
I agree.
Did he?
No, Bobs, he did, because here's the thing. Look, isolating Mourinho's journey to Tottenham, he has gone through a rough patch. To be honest, he was actually on the decline in terms of how attractive he looked as a coach in the modern day era. So that Man United stint was a massive blow to him. So this was an opportunity for him to kind of revive his name. You know, Ancelotti's gone to Everton. He's doing well. You know, every other top coach is managing a club and they're doing relatively well. Ole Gunnar's managed to balance Man United. So he's a bit salty about that, you know, because he left it badly and he's balanced it last minute. So he's entering Tottenham with the hope of, okay, you know what? It's my chance. I can build my name. I can build my reputation. And he's gone there and he's looked at the mentality. Like, if you watch the documentary with Tottenham and stuff, and if you see how he's even talking to them, like, yes, one can argue is that he's taken the fun out of the locker room or the training ground, but at the same time, he's brought a winning mentality there, which you've never had before. So when you watch those videos and you're seeing Dele Alli chilling and training, just like, oh, I'm just gonna chill and kick the ball however I want. That's not a winning mentality. We don't see winning teams do that, you know. So he's come there and he's like, look, you got to train seriously, type of thing.
I think you're right, because the All or Nothing documentary was very interesting, right? And it was interesting because you got to see, I mean, what every fan wants to see, isn't it? You want to see what they're doing when they put the boots on. If you've played football, you know what happens. You know, you go training bar stretches, but it was good to see Tottenham in this sense where, okay, let's see what do you do under Jose Mourinho. You know, I think for everyone, because we all know Jose Mourinho is UK gold. He's an entertainer. You know, we know he plays up for the camera. At the time, okay.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
And I just think when you do watch it, you've kind of got to look at the players like, do you want this? And Patrick, I mean, I'll go to you first, but like, what did you think when you watched that? Because I felt Dele Alli is just not a serious guy.
Yeah,
literally.
I agree.
And I was quite disappointed.
Yeah, Dele Alli is super talented, but he's fallen off a cliff because he's not put the work ethic or the work rate in to really get to that next level. Serge Aurier, again, a talented player, but he's just lazy. He's always caught out of position. And even in the documentary, you saw Jose Mourinho have a go at him, saying, you know, I like you, but you're always giving away penalties. Yeah. So you saw these things, and you're seeing him call people out. You're seeing Jose. I mean, I know Gunnar, you said that Jose's in box office, but he still is. He's still one of the most followed personalities on Instagram and on social media.
I think in the football world, I just don't think anymore he has that pull that he used to, because I think people have come in. Klopp has come in. Yeah. You know, there's loads of people that have just come in now. And my problem with Jose Mourinho is, you remember before he used to back his players, it was always his fault. He would take the blame. He doesn't take the blame anymore.
But is that not because football's changed, though? Is that not because the era's changed?
Because this is more you would wrap your players in cotton wool era. Those players that he had before, you could abuse them because they were big players, they were winners. Now you've got to wrap your players up in cotton wool now, and he's gone the other way and he's abusing them, and that's why you're getting people sulking like this. Like Patrick said, the only reason why Bale came out and said what he said is because of the last two matches. That is literally 100. The only reason why Bale has come out and done this. If they win those two matches and everybody's singing Bale's praises, because they were singing these praises the match before the Arsenal match, if they were singing these praises, he would not have done this. And it's just a war, and that is the issue with Jose Mourinho, and that is why him and Spurs were never going to work. It was doomed from the start.
Gunnar, can I just quickly say something? I totally agree with what you're saying, but on the flip side, when we appointed Jose, I thought, like you said, BITZ, because it was last chance saloon for him, he had kind of messed up at Man United. He had messed up at... I thought he was going to come with a different mentality.
His arrogance levels are just too high. He's a big man now.
I thought he knew that this was his last chance saloon. It was an attractive job. He could still do... And if he won something with Spurs, can you imagine like how good that would look? I thought he was really going to change his mentality and his approach. But as you can see, he hasn't. And, you know,
he's at that age.
I'm going to stick up for him here. I'm going to stick up for him here, right? Because, okay, yes, I'm a fan of his. I like him and stuff here. Do you know what I think here? I think he's walked into a situation and he probably thinks, I've seen you lot play really well. I've seen you lot give something for a cause. Now, imagine if I just install a mentality where when training is finished, you stay back, you do extra shooting, you do extra set pieces. You know, you try and analyze people's movements. You know, we heard when Pep said to Raheem Sterling, he was like, he gave him stuff from Messi. He was like, watch how he dribbles. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like you said, Patrick, go the extra mile and work a bit harder. But then he realized the reason they don't win it is because of the mentality. No, guys, we can be. Hear me out, though. Right? If you see Tottenham, come on, we can't do Poch any more justice. Tottenham were playing great football. They've done some great things. Okay, right?
They didn't do anything great.
Just like Bob
didn't do anything great though.
Let him
I know what you're saying, but hear me out, right? And they were playing all this champagne football, good football, got to finals, were competing and stuff, you know. They were competing, right? Now I'm thinking, Jose's thinking, I can be that last push. Okay? That last push. And I personally think, the players, okay, we can easily say they've bottled it. I know it's such a British term, but the players are just, they've either choked or see what it takes to be the next level.
No, it's not that.
And I personally think they're not about it.
I think he came in too late. Because
no, you can't say that.
No. When you look at these great,
let him land.
When you look at these great players that Spurs supposedly have, they had a back four of Kyle Walker, Toby Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and Danny Rose. There's only one of them left, and he's past it. Hugo Lloris is not the goalkeeper he was 3 years ago. Their midfield of when they had Dembele and Wanyama, that's gone. Their attack, yes, fine. They have Kane, who's now in his prime, and Son, but Ali's not good anymore. Like this great Spurs team that they supposedly had, it's now 2-3 years past their prime.
Well, who's you blame though, Prime? This is what I'm asking you. It's the players.
But if they're at their if their peak, if you've hit your peak, so Bob, you've played football at a decent level. If you hit your peak, where can you go from hitting your peak?
Yeah, but
where do you go from hitting the peak?
You not adjust.
No, but Bob,
no, you don't adjust. You don't adjust.
It's not even just.
You get sold.
It's not even just players.
Gunnar, go. What did you say, Gunnar? Sorry.
Like Patrick, what players have you signed in the last 5 seasons? Is your team basically the same team that when Poch went on his good run? Is the team pretty much the same? When you won the Champions League, when you got into the final of the Champions League, how much players did you sign the season after?
You know, this is a loaded question because we went through 2 seasons without signing anyone, and that at the time, you know,
that is the issue. See, this is what I'm saying. This is the
whole issue. Let him finish. Hold on.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that we have signed players, and you can refresh a team. Like the same Man City team that won the league 2 or 3 years ago is not the same Man City team that are going to win the league now. So when you're saying, this player's past it, that's what happens. It's sports. No one can stay at the top forever.
Yeah, but they've replaced them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we have.
But that's what I'm saying. You haven't. That's what I'm saying. That's why. Who?
We bought Ndombele. We bought in Højbjerg. We bought in players. Some of
but
them haven't.
Were they better than what you had before?
Well, yeah. Højbjerg
did they have as much as But did they have much as an impact as say like Eriksen and people like that?
Well,
and Vertonghen.
We bought in Lo Celso. Admittedly, he hasn't really hit the ground running. He's always injured. He's in and out of the team. But we have.
But your main players, you haven't replaced them.
But we have signed players. You're talking like we haven't signed players. We have.
No, but you have. Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying. You haven't signed players that are as good or as better or better than what the ones that have left. So that's what you're talking about, Man City. But they've got players that are either as good as the ones that won the league the last time or better. You haven't done that. You've just refreshed it, but the players haven't. They're not any better. Like Ndombele, like this season he's been amazing. Højbjerg, but again, it's not any better. If anything, it's on the same level, and that's why at the moment you're in that position. If the players were slightly better, Mourinho would probably get more from them, but I can't see what more you can get from Ben Davies. I can't see what more you could get from Sergio Aurier. You can't get more from Toby because he's only going to go backwards.
But no one's going to do Chelsea.
I want to hear what Ryan has to say about this particular topic you're talking about. Actually,
it is right. The players that we've lost, we've replaced Kyle Walker with Sergio Aurier and Doherty. That's a downgrade. Reguilon, I can't say he's better than Rose yet because obviously Rose's season in 17-18 was his best of his career for us. So Reguilon's too early to call. The only upgrade I think we've had is Højbjerg over Wanyama for me as a Tottenham fan.
I agree with that.
Ndombele and Dembele are very similar players. If Ndombele's if he can get his goals up, his goal numbers up, then he will surpass Dembele because he wasn't a goal scorer. But we have got the same useless players without upgrade. I say we've got Sanchez instead of Vertonghen. That's not going to work. If you want to build on we progressed on the Poch without winning anything. As stupid as it sounds, we did progress.
Yeah.
If you want to go to that next level, then you have to bring in players to keep building that pyramid of getting further. And it's not. I don't know if the painful rebuild we wanted, like you say, the only players we've lost is Rose because his temper was too much for the club to handle, and they didn't like him speaking out. And the best creative midfielder we had, they're the only 2 players really that we've lost since Poch said this painful rebuild.
And Dele Alli, because Dele Alli was amazing.
Yeah, he was, but
he was amazing. But that's what I'm saying. You haven't. It's not like disrespectful what I'm saying. I'm just saying you've just gone in the same way. you've either replaced them with like for like, or you've probably downgraded in some positions, and that's why you're in the position. And I don't see how Mourinho can get more out of players when the team's actually possibly worse than the peak Pochettino team.
But do you not think though? Do you not think that the players have to help him now?
They have to, but they're not good enough. This is
I don't know, but look,
this is not good enough. You can't help if you're not good enough. If I can't run faster than Usain Bolt, then Mourinho pushing me, slapping me in the back of my head, it ain't gonna make me run any faster. I can only do what I can do, and that's what they're doing. Yeah, but everyone keeps saying this. You keep comparing teams. I'm going to contradict myself because I'm going to say Spurs are not a big team, but at the same time, they are a big team. So there's a certain pressure for playing for Spurs. But there's no pressure. Remember, Leicester won the league, but there's no pressure for Leicester. There's absolutely no pressure on them to do anything. They could finish 12th this season and no one would bat an eyelid. They would just be like, okay, that's Leicester. Everybody forgets how good Wolves were last season. West Ham, like there's no pressure on West Ham to do anything. So it's easy when there's no pressure. That's why I said it today. If we put West Ham's players in Man United shirts, they wouldn't be as high as they are.
Wait, so do you think there's pressure on as a Tottenham coach? Just anybody being a Tottenham coach? You think there's
poisonous chalice? The Tottenham job.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. It just wasn't the right match. It was just like we keep saying this. He needs ready-made players. And
I'm not talking about Jose. I'm not talking about Jose. I'm talking about in general. If it was replaced by any manager,
no, because I think if Brendan Rodgers goes into Tottenham tomorrow, it's a completely different Tottenham team.
So you're saying
that it depends on the coach.
No, because he would bring in. He knows how to work on a budget. He knows how to
knows how to win.
I can answer that.
But you can't win without good players.
The way they've been this season. If you had Brendan Rodgers, he would play a better style of football. But I think the way they've managed the points they've accumulated thus far in the league. The fact that they're in a cup final, if this was someone like Brendan Rodgers or Nagelsmann or even Poch, I don't think Spurs fans would be complaining.
But they're
only complaining because it's the style of football, because it's Mourinho.
It's a bit of that. But to the end, they wanted Poch out, and I'm like, how could you want Poch out because you've never seen anything like it while half of you have been alive? Like
that's
obviously, I remember like people like Klinsmann and people like that, David Ginola, Les Ferdinand. Like when I was young, these guys were actually these guys were ballers. So I've seen Spurs have good players. Like again, I think it's hard to get an argument from Twitter because people just say the most outrageous things. Like I didn't even talk about Spurs today, and the reaction I was getting from Spurs fans was just like, I was like, bro, I was talking about Mourinho, and so I don't think you could get a logical answer. But I just keep saying this. I think if they need to get someone young that knows how to find young players and they need to go that way, and that's what Brendan Rodgers is good at. He's good at finding little gems from wherever and bringing them up from the Championship and making them into higher quality Premiership players. Mourinho is never going to do that.
See, Bob,
so that's the difference. That's why it's a silly thing to do.
See, Bob, I see this slightly different. Like for me, anybody entering the Tottenham job from before Jose, after Poch, it's a lot of pressure because
it's pressure. Yeah, you don't have to win a trophy, but it's pressure.
Poch had brought them up to a point where it's just like you can't take them further down. Like he brought them up to a consistent level. He was second at one point, then he dipped. I think the lowest point he got was fifth. Yeah. Jose was sixth last season, and now he's sixth now, and hopefully he can do better. But for me, there's a lot of pressure to actually take. That's actually really hard to take a team to the next level in a tough league like that. So I think there's high expectations. I think there's high expectations because Tottenham is considered a big team. When you talk about the big Premier League teams, big 5, big 6, Tottenham's always been there. So that's how I see it. It's not an easy job. So when we look at what Mourinho has done so far, we got my thing to Tottenham fans is this: like, Mourinho's gone and he's worked with what he's got. There's two realities that need to be seen here. One, the reality is what Gunnar is saying, which is your players are not good enough right now to get to the next level. Now, the other realization is that this manager is getting the best out of your player. Yes, he's got a different playing style from other coaches. And you might think that, oh, Brendan Rodgers, or if we make a switch like Chelsea did, where they got Tuchel in and Lampard out, and you think he'll just magically play better, that's a possibility. We don't know. But there's a high chance whoever who comes in will not also win you a trophy. So my thing is, stick with Mourinho, back him up, see if he wins this trophy, the League Cup, see how he ends up. And then this summer, back him up seriously if you're really serious, or get him out of there and start rebuilding. Get Nagelsmann in there, and then guess what? Then you're just retracting back to probably before Poch. That's what I think.
Guys, just on from what they've both said there. Okay, Patrick, going to come to you. Last two subjects. Okay, second last subject. Why is there such a Poch hangover? Why is there such a cry? In fact, you know what? I'm going to ask you. Why is your fan base so split? Literally, people are saying you shouldn't have got Poch. People are saying Jose in. Why is it so split? Because from a rival point of view, I'm thinking, relax, you're going to win a trophy regardless. You just literally. So, Patrick, why is that? I mean, and where do you sit, Patrick, if you don't mind going?
The reason why there's such a hangover is because so many people fell in love with Poch. They idolized him because when we bought in Pochettino, he was a young, unproven manager to a degree. He came in, obviously he finished 5th his first season, and then the rise was quite meteoric. The way we rose and became a serious club, no one really foresaw it, and we actually moved quicker than our expected plans. I mean, the stadium move, we didn't expect to still be, second or third when moving stadium. There was two windows without buying. Pochettino still managed to get us in the Champions League. That again is unheard of. So we actually fell in love with this guy and we idolized him. We idolized his passion. We saw how he was bringing players through. He was improving players. So there was a lot to love about him. The last 18 months wasn't great. We didn't win away from home for 12 months. People don't remember.
It was a bad run.
Yeah, it was a bad run. We got to the Champions League final. That papered over a lot of cracks. But behind this, there was a lot of stuff that was starting to build. And it wasn't, the time, to be fair, I agreed with the sacking. As much as I didn't want Poch to go, I agreed with that. I think Poch's cycle had run. That 5-year, 6-year cycle had run. It was time for a change. So a lot of people don't want to accept it. I accepted it. Like I said, I was happy with Jose, but a lot of people aren't. Style of football, the teams that he's managed, that's always going to divide opinion. Jose's temperament, how he manages players, again, that's always going to divide opinion. And he's an outspoken guy that people aren't going to like that. But the fact that his CV speaks for itself is why other people will take to him and give him a chance. Where Tottenham haven't won anything, this guy's won it all. So what can you say? He's a proven winner. So for me, I understood it. But like I said, I thought Jose was going to come with a mentality where he was a bit more of like today's manager, a bit more
mellow, a bit more mellow.
Get your arm around Dele Alli and talk to him. Be that bigger brother to him instead of like an Aggie uncle or Aggie dad.
You can't.
But how do you know he hasn't done that to Dele Alli, for one? Two, if Ali does not suit what Jose is trying to do, then that's on your board for not selling him. Don't blame Mourinho for it not working well when you know it's not going to work well.
By the way, this disclaimer: Prime is Jose Mourinho.
No, it's not about that. Because I'm about backing your man. I said the same thing with Frank Lampard. Everyone knows I didn't want him from the jump, but I backed the fact that he wanted Chilwell, he wanted Declan Rice, he wanted Tarkowski and Nick Pope. I backed his signings because if you have a manager back what he wants and let him enact his vision, or you sack him immediately. We're not backing him.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair, Jose probably did try the soft approach with Dele Alli. You know, when he first came, he goes, "Are you Dele Alli or Dele Alli's brother?" So there was a bit of banter about it. There was a bit, but I don't think Dele Alli took to the Jose. You know, like Jose dug him out, and I think Dele Alli's always been like the golden child. He's never really had to prove himself. I don't think Dele Alli took well to having to put his, to prove himself again. And as you can see, there's kind of been a rift. Jose Mourinho, again, the Ndombele saga last year. But I think Ndombele had the character and the mentality to overcome it. And now we're seeing
this is it. This is what I'm saying. This is why, like, sorry, Patrick, to cut you there. Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I have arguments with Eleanor, right, over this. And I even speak to Mel about this, right? I just think, like, if you're a player, you do anything you can to make sure you train hard from Monday to Thursday, Monday to Friday to get into that squad on Saturday. If your manager's telling you to do a certain thing, you just do it. Like, do you know what I mean? If he's saying to you, stand 3 more yards to the left in your starting position, you just do it, and then your talent will prevail you, you know? And I just think that some of these Tottenham players...
It's not that simple.
No, but you say it's not that simple. But look,
it's not that simple.
But it's because
I want to hear what Arteta has taught Ghana.
No, if you've got certain players and they play a certain way, this was my whole issue with the whole Mesut Ozil saga. If you gave the guy this massive contract, that's basically saying we're going to build the team around you, and you're going to do everything that you need to do to make things work, because that's the player he is. If with Dele Alli, the game needs to be built around him. Like Prime says, if you're not going to do that and you can't put him in your team, then you sell him. So it's in that situation, it's not Dele Alli's fault. It's not Jose Mourinho's fault. It just it doesn't work. So if something doesn't work, you get rid of him. At work, if in any walk of life, if something isn't working, you walk away from the situation. You just go. You part company.
Do you not feel sorry for Jose though? Because he came in, right? And hear me out. I am defending him because I know it sounds like but I am defending because I think to myself, like, you see what he's done with clubs. Okay, you could say, oh, he had money, he had big time players, but at Porto, you could say that. Inter Milan, he didn't really buy that many players.
But he had world class players. But he had world class players that had the mentality. And you mentioned Ndombele, which was a £60 million player, compared to Dele Alli that came from Milton Keynes. That came that no, but that's what you pay for when you're going after top players. You're paying for what you know, players that are going to bring you that certain mentality, that certain winner's edge. That's why you guys went after Harry Maguire, because you saw that was the personality that he could bring to the team. That's what it's about. But football's not the same. There's not that many people out there anymore that will do that or that are willing to do that. Spurs literally have Harry Kane and Son that I think if it came to it, they would die. They would die for the badge. I don't think there's many. I don't think there's anyone at Arsenal that would.
Ryan, what's your thought on it? Sorry, I want to hear Ryan's thoughts on it. I want to hear Ryan's thoughts. Why is your fan base split? Why is it toxic right now to be a Tottenham fan?
It's all about Mourinho. I know when you look at it, it's like the end of Wenger's era at Arsenal. You had one half saying keep him, he can do it. The other half saying he's past it, he's not good enough. Half of it is the Chelsea links. I still think people are annoyed that we've signed a former Chelsea manager and all that, whatever nonsense you want to spout about it. But it's just because we're not doing anything. We ain't got the squad to do anything. And like I said to you before, the 3 sets you get in your club, the one who gets the biggest brunt of it is always the manager, because your voice can eventually get rid of a manager. So half of us, I am personally only Mourinho out because it's never going to work with the board. I can always talk about the board, but it's never going to work.
The manager's going to go before the board. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And whichever manager we get in now is still going to be the same, because they're going to come in and, like with the old Dele Alli thing, he wasn't playing him. Why not sell him to PSG when they want him and bring in a player with that money that Mourinho then wants to fit his system?
The board.
If you're not going to back him, why have him? He's not going to win it with this squad.
But Matt, is that not again? Because all I see on Spurs Twitter and from Spurs fans we know is that it seems to be every little thing is just Mourinho. Get him out. Get him. I was having conversations and stuff, and it's like, I'm not. I don't. We've all had too
speaking
much.
to a lot of people today, boy.
We've all had too much YouTube beef over the past few months. Look, I agree, get him out and sack him. That's like, to me, that's not even an issue. But I was speaking with some fans and stuff, and it seems that they're only happy with fitting their agenda. That if Spurs are losing or they lose and it suits their narrative of getting this guy out, that they'll be happy. And I spoke and I said, you can sack him, which is fine, whatever. That's not an issue, even though I'm this Jose sexual. That's not the issue. But if you bring in Rodgers or now Guzman and nothing changes, you're bored, don't actually back them.
What did you say you were?
Bob, mind your own business. If I'm making a point here. You guys are joking.
No.
If you bring in Rodgers or now Guzman or whoever this precious guy you guys want, and the board are not really backing them, then you're gonna have to see the issues with your board. And also, if it's what is actual improvement? Because right now you are, I think, 7th or 6th. You're a point off above. You're 6th, so you're a point off. You're a point off
West
fifth.
Ham.
You're a point or two off 5th. So you're in that running for the top 4. You're in a cup final. I know you're scared, but you could beat City. You're in a cup final. Like, what would improvement be? So if and they said, I don't care, anything's it's a bit of improvement from this. So if you bring I said to them, so if you bring in a different manager next season and you're 2 points ahead, but you're still not in top 4, but you're 2 points ahead of where you are now, is that an improvement? Yes, because any little improvement is better than what we're doing right now.
Yes, progress
it seems
is progress.
like they're so toxic. It's not progress. It seems like they're being so toxic and blind. Even though they know there's other issues going on, they think sacking Mourinho will fix things. They think going into these big games, playing this fluid attacking football, going out for it and getting battered or losing 5-4 by these sort of scorelines. They think that's impressive. They think that's a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Like Arsenal these days. Anyways, continue. What were you saying?
No, but okay, like Arsenal, fine. But it's not a good thing. Like, for example, that 5-4 in the Cup with Everton, Spurs fans were happy with that result. Why?
I know, but they got beat.
That's embarrassing.
Not me, man.
Embarrassing.
Not the fans.
Spurs fans are some Spurs fans. I know
that 6-1 was a good victory, though. That 6-1 that you had near the start of the season.
Again, it's not. And also, just in case people are wondering, I'm not talking about Ryan, by the way. I'm not talking about Ryan when I'm mentioning stuff like this, but like I just think you can blame Mourinho all you want, and maybe that's due to the style of football. But him being sacked does not fix anything with your club. I think people are blinded by him. Like, look at United; they're blind by Ollie being the issue when he's not the issue. You have Arsenal fans. I don't rate Arteta as highly as everyone else does, but you have Arsenal fans that are blind. You have Arsenal fans that don't like Arteta, that are blinded by Arteta.
They don't even know why they don't like him.
When the bigger issue is the board. Attack the board.
That's the thing, and this is all I'm saying about Spurs is the team's not good enough, and it's down to the board. I'm not saying the players are rubbish. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying the team isn't good enough for what they're trying to do or what they want to do, and it's down to the board. And the only managers they're going to get in now, literally, in my opinion, are because they've got Harry Kane and they've got Son, which gives you a chance. That's a starting point. That's enough to get you top 6, regardless of what you've got going on behind you in defense and in midfield. Those two are good enough. And obviously, once you start adding in Dembele and all players like that, that is good enough. But in terms of what people are thinking they should be top 4, that's just my issue. I don't get where that has come from, because you finished 6th last season, did you not? You've
Right.
brought in a couple of players, but everyone's forgetting that everybody's gone through their cycle now. So Man United are starting to come. Man United are only 3 or 4 players away. Chelsea have got the players. They're probably a couple of players away. When Liverpool and all their massive injuries that killed their season, derailed their whole century, once all those players get back, they're going to go again. Man City have got the money to go again. Where does Spurs fit in that top 4? That is my genuine question. And you signed Doherty, and you signed Reguilon, and you signed, who else did you sign this season? Vinicius and someone else. Was that enough?
Gareth Bale.
Was that enough? And Gareth Bale alone, was that enough really to break top 4 this season? That is just my argument.
Let them answer that, Patrick. I mean, okay. What? Because I want the 2 Spurs boys to conclude when we go into the last topic. But Patrick, I mean, from what Gunnar's saying, it's quite damning, isn't it? When you think about it,
not really, because I mean, I do think that obviously Gunnar being an Arsenal fan, he's always going to have rose-tinted glasses on, and it's going to come from an Arsenal perspective.
But are those players good enough to get you top 4?
Yeah, they are.
Gonna let him answer you.
Let him land.
With the players that we have, why not? Like, you're talking like the top 4 is like, I mean, Chelsea have been, I mean, like we all know, Chelsea weren't doing great. They sacked their manager mid-season, and they've got in Tuchel. For the fact that they've been on this amazing run, we're only 3 points behind them. What is it? Man United, we still got to play them. We still got to play Leicester again. The top 4 isn't concluded. It's not like that's it. So we can still get in that top 4. So yeah, the players there are good enough. They haven't performed. The manager hasn't performed. It's a mix of both. We've thrown away a lot of games where we should have won. We should have beat Newcastle. We should have been a couple goals up before they got the penalty from the handball. West Ham 3 goals up. We should have saw that game out. There's no doubt about that. Same with Crystal Palace and Fulham. We win those games or we get points off it. It's a different story. So
yeah, but then Arsenal could say that if we never throw away all these points this season, then we would be up. But that's part of the game. That doesn't mean nothing. I'm just saying these players, we all know it. That's why Ryan hasn't really mentioned it. He knows it. The players are just not good enough, and
I agree.
It's not me saying that you're rubbish. It's just saying they're not good enough for top 4. And I think the teams you've mentioned, there's room for improvement. Like Chelsea, there's room for improvement because their players haven't hit their peak. These Spurs players, they've hit their upper echelon. They can't go any higher. That's it.
There's room for improvement for us this season as well. Of course there is. Like you got to look at the table. You can see it. There's no way we haven't performed at our best, and we're only a couple points off. So we can definitely get in the top 4. So you're saying, are we good enough to get?
Are these players?
Hold on. Sorry, can I cut in?
Can these players get any better? That's what I'm saying. They can't get any better.
Can I cut in? You can, because you talk about Chelsea. We've vastly underperformed this season. We should be doing a lot. Yes, that's why you shouldn't. That's why you shouldn't.
I don't think Spurs have underperformed.
That's why Spurs have performed exactly how you should be.
Yeah,
you haven't. You're one of the only teams in the league that haven't underperformed.
So everyone else has underperformed, but Spurs have performed what they should.
Yes, you should. Yes. It does make sense because you're acting as if you have a squad on par with Chelsea.
Bobby, did you think Spurs were going to get top 4? Do you think their team was good enough to get top 4? Because if you think they're good enough to get top 4, that means you're saying Chelsea, Liverpool. You guys are missing.
Let him answer the question.
Not Bobs. Don't answer it. Sorry, what? I forgot your name. Patrick. Sorry, I forgot. Sorry. Patrick, you answer it. Did you think you get top 4?
Do I think?
Did you think you would get top 4?
At the beginning of the season?
At the beginning of the season, yeah, I had us in the top 4. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Really? Ahead of who?
Well, my top 4 was, I thought Liverpool were going to win the league again. I thought
the biggest joke of the season.
Man United, and then I thought Tottenham.
So you thought you finished top 4 ahead of Leicester and Chelsea?
Yeah.
He just said yes.
Mourinho, though.
Why?
This is it. Jose Mourinho,
the players. I thought Chelsea had brought in too many players at the same time, and I thought it'd take a while to gel. Obviously,
they're still better, but they're still better players.
Yeah, but so what about Leicester? You don't.
What about Leicester?
You don't win a game.
Well, he's doing it now, though, isn't he? He's doing it now, though, isn't he?
Wait. Boy,
Let him
look,
finish. Let him finish because
Yeah, so you don't win a game on paper. It takes a performance to win a game. So the fact that they brought in all these top players, yes, they got a great squad, but it doesn't mean they're going to automatically win the league or finish in the top four. You still got to win the game. So, and then Leicester, if I'm being honest, I didn't really take them seriously. That's just the bottom line. Yeah,
me too.
So I had them.
Okay,
I've
got one question for you.
Can I ask this question? If Tottenham did finish in the top four, would you be shocked? No.
Exactly.
Why? Because of Jose Mourinho.
There's nothing to do with Jose Mourinho. It's looking at the table and seeing that.
I like that question, Bobs.
It's not because of Jose Mourinho. It's because they're 3 points off top four. So that's why it's reality.
Patrick was saying he had them in the top four. It's because of Jose Mourinho. So if they did get there,
no, but that's it. That's his personal view. I'm not knocking it. If that's what he believed, that's what he believed. But I'm saying I didn't believe it. And if they finish where they finish now, I think that's where I had them to finish anyway.
Real quick, there's a point that's been made that's been neglected, which is the fact that a lot of teams have underperformed. So if teams are underperforming, it leaves a gap for things to be filled. This is what people don't understand when they talk about the season. When teams are dropping points like Liverpool, and you had them as your top.
I'll tell you what the difference is. Sorry, Vinci, to cut you off. Liverpool. Your thing is because of injury. So it's something that has never happened before. So it's something that can't be happened, that we can't deal with. Spurs, on the other hand, Arsenal, on the other hand, these other teams, the things that are letting them down are the same things that have been letting them down for the past 2-3 years. So you see what I'm saying? So regardless if they could have played better, the things that are letting them down are the things that have been letting them down for the last 3 or 4 years. So how do you stop it?
Let it conclude.
How do you stop it? The only way you can stop it is by getting rid of the players that continuously let you down, but at the moment they can't do it. They can't both of us can't afford to just be getting rid of players and bringing the new players in. So the players that constantly let us down are still there, and that's why I had them to finish 6th because of the defense. That was it.
But I didn't finish my point. My point was that look, I didn't expect Arsenal to be where they are. They shouldn't be riding 7th, 8th, or 9th. I expect them to be a lot higher, right? I expect Tottenham to be higher.
What's a lot higher?
Guys, we're
hold on. What I mean by I just mean that I expect them to be higher than that. I didn't expect West Ham or Leicester to be where they are. That's my expectation. But now that we've seen how the season's gone, it's a weird season. So there are points for the taking. There's points to be had. There's table shifts to be had. So when we look at, honestly, from what I'm gathering, they really shouldn't be cause for alarm in Tottenham, to be honest, because you're in the League Cup final. Yes, it's against Man City. Good luck there. But you're at the fringes of top 4, 3 points behind. What's the problem? There should be no issue.
There you go.
That's my thing.
Not that alarming. So when I'm saying we could finish in the top 4 and I had us in the top 4, why are people acting like it's so crazy? We've been in the top 4.
Yeah.
How many seasons before that? It's not that crazy.
No, I don't think it's crazy, but this is what I'm saying. It's the arrogance of the fans that thinking that being 3 points off finishing top 4 or being in the top 4 is mad. And that's what I'm saying is the arrogance. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you and Ryan, because obviously I've spoken to you. I'm saying it's the arrogance of the fans in general that you're telling me that you've got probably one of the most decorated managers, the only genuine world-class manager we've probably had. I don't, if you could bring someone else up, then let me know. But that you've had, and he's got you 3 points off being in the top 4, and that's what I'm saying about the arrogance of the fans, that they think that that's not good enough. Okay, the football's it's disgusting for looking at what Pochettino or even what Harry Redknapp was doing with the squads that he had.
Why you got to say disgusting? Why can't you just say down?
Because it's like for Spurs.
He's an Arsenal fan. That's why
Spurs probably played the best football in the league 2 years ago. They were the best footballing team, weren't they? So
100%.
This is disgusting football that they're watching, and I just think it just goes down to the arrogance of certain fans. Obviously not these two that we've got in here, because they're not talking crazy, but I'm seeing like. Sack this guy for what reason? I don't
want to be rude, but we've been on stream for an hour and 40 minutes, and I really want to talk about this last topic, and it's Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane. And low-key Son, because it's the name of the type. Harry Kane has got, I think it's 2 or 3 years left on his contract.
3 years. 3 years.
It's 3. There you go. Yeah, and Son's got 1 year left. Right, guys. The panel. I want the Spurs fans to conclude on this.
Yeah.
Why are people sleeping on Son's contract? And why are people thinking Harry Kane's going to stay? Pat, you go. In fact, Ryan, I want to hear from you, man. I want to hear from
Can't
you.
afford him.
I think he'll sign Son. I think he'll sign a contract. It's just, I think they'll push the boat out more for him than Kane because of the added marketing they get from South Korea. When the stadium's open, they're all in the stadium. There's too much money to lose if you lose Son. And Kane, he's on court. Last night, I did say on the stream last night, I could see him at Man U next season. But when you think about it, with the chairman we've got, he's not going to drop his price. He will never drop the price for him. And he's now on course to win the Golden Boot, most assists in the league. And if he has a great Euros with England, that's just more money it's going to cost someone to buy Kane. And I think there's going to be too many teams battling for Haaland this summer rather than go for a 28-year-old with
injury
bad ankles. Yeah, he's going to have an ankle injury or two a season, as it seems at the minute. So and obviously David Ornstein said today his word that he thinks Kane's going to stay there for the rest of his career.
I think he will.
Things like that. So I do think we'll keep Kane. I think we will keep them both, but then it's up to the board again to work the team around them and build something around them. If you're paying them this much money, they're both going to get a pay rise. So if you're building the team around them, you've got to take it seriously and get rid of players that aren't good enough for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like in the summer, we could have had that Castagne from Leicester, who's turned out to be brilliant in the league, but they went the 7 million cheaper option in Doctor. That's the sort of stuff. And same as Bruno. When we went for him, Man U pulled out of that deal. And instead of offering what Sporting wanted, they just didn't want to up the price. You've got to cancel all that and get the players behind them that could push a club further. Especially if you're not, then just sell them. If you're not willing to do that, then sell them, get as high a price as possible for them,
and then rebuild.
And then build the team off that money. Yeah.
Patrick, I just want to come to you. I want you to obviously conclude the show with your thoughts on it. Obviously, you heard what Ryan said there. Do you agree? Or
yeah, spot on. I think that's pretty much 100. I would have said the same thing. Son, I'm not worried about. There was a lot of murmurs about his contract had already been done, but then we kind of got the pandemic and all of this stuff. And Son, when they asked Son to talk about it, you know, Son's a humble guy. He said it's not the time at the moment. He doesn't believe it's the right time to talk about money and stuff like that. I'm not too worried about the Son one. Harry Kane, obviously, it is a bit of a cause for concern, especially with what Orny said yesterday. But then Orny's backtracked and kind of went back on his statement today and said that he can see Harry Kane staying there for his whole career. And I look at the fact that he'd probably want to go down as Tottenham legend, try and break the golden, well, not the Premier League record at Spurs, and hopefully take them to win a trophy. So I can kind of see that in him as well. But I believe that Kane will only sign another contract if he sees Tottenham actually trying to be ambitious.
Yeah, okay.
Said it as well, hasn't he?
Same thing what Ryan said. If we're still trying to do like Doherty deals, you know, messing about, not buying Ruben Diaz when we had first dibs on him, or Skriniar, or even Bruno Fernandes, you know, Zaha, Grealish. I could go on and on about all these players that we were close to, but then messing about and losing. Then,
sounds like Arsenal, doesn't it?
then I don't blame him for leaving if that's the case. You can't begrudge a guy who's a world-class talent for staying at a team that are not doing anything. So yeah. Listen.
Go on, Prime. Conclude it.
Why should Kane have to wait another season?
But look, do you know the thing
about
Kane?
No. But let me, because he's been this whole thing of Kane. But this whole Kane thing, Kane waiting, has been said for 2 seasons now. Why can't he just leave?
I don't even think it's waiting. I don't think anyone can afford to buy it.
No, you can. if you can't, because apparently he wants to leave. So if he forces in a transfer request, or it's vocal that he wants,
listen, it doesn't.
No, listen, or it's vocal that he wants to leave. There's
No.
nothing Spurs can really do about
Daniel
it.
Levy, he's
Chelsea,
the best.
He's under contract.
Levy's the best.
Because if a team like Chelsea put in the money for him, he will leave.
No,
That's
not
a different story.
130 mil, 130.
He's got 3 years
Nothing
left.
less.
He's worth it.
He's got 3 years left.
Go on, Patrick. Sorry, go on, Patrick. Sorry.
And the fact, so he's got 3 years left on his contract. The fact that we're in a pandemic year, no one's made any money this year. A lot of clubs are struggling.
That's why he's going to
the fact
stay.
that you're going to have to raise 100, 120, it's not realistic. So that's why I'm saying this year we won't see a bid. Next year, if things continue, then I believe clubs will bid on him. But right now, with everything that's going on, I don't really believe any clubs can afford it. They can't afford to.
Listen. Thank you very much. Listen, Spurs Edition from the wrap up. 2 special guests, Ryan, a man like Patrick. Listen, guys, thank you so much on behalf of the wrap up. It's been a great conversation. I have to admit, I've enjoyed it, lads. What about yourselves? You enjoyed tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a bit more volatile, actually.
No.
No, a gentleman. What gentleman?
You guys are all decent and everyone's talking sense. No one's trying to go below the belt. We're just talking as fans, but as football fans. So yeah, it's good. It's really good.
We don't bite, we pinch.
Yeah. Like, exactly. Like we'll probe and stuff, but like we generally, like, God's honest truth, right? We've got a WhatsApp group, okay? And some of your fans on Twitter were moving mad. So we discuss it, and we were just like, we done an emergency phone call. We were like, what is going on with Tottenham? Like, what the hell? Like, because because I was saying it in my chest. I was like, why are they being so arrogant? Like, you've got a whole Jose Mourinho there at your club, like, steady. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you got knocked out of the Europa League. Okay, cool. So what? Like, you're still in the cup final. You can still make top 6. You could make a resurgence for top 4. Do you know what I mean? And some of the statements, some of the tweets we were saying, gonna lie, like, it was like,
this is what I just kept saying. It's that arrogance, and I don't know where. That's why I keep saying Poch was probably the worst thing to happen to Spurs in recent times, because some people are not being humble with it. So some people have just lost their mind and think that this is what Spurs deserve. Like, you only deserve it if you win trophies. So if Spurs were winning trophies, I would hold my hand up and be like, okay, I see where they're coming from. But I think they've just been, I would say they've been lucky, but he overachieved with that team. Like Patrick said, was it 2 seasons you went without signing players, and he kept them up there. So,
which is unheard of,
probably
right?
thought, it's unheard of. And obviously people probably thought, okay, Mourinho comes the final part of the puzzle. But like I said, I think the players are at their peak. So unless you're buying in better, then it's just not going to happen. For me personally, at the moment, it's not going to happen unless they get better than what they've got. And none of us out of the current top four, like to spend money. So it's a bit of a myth, to be fair.
100%.
You said none of us.
Chelsea. Wait, Vinci, you don't spend money. We do. Chelsea spend money. We'll buy Kane.
You spend foolishly, but let's not go there.
But listen, to the 2 guests that came on, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for being engaged with us. Please make sure that if you are new, you've subscribed. If you haven't already, please smash a like. Listen, thank you so much, Ryan and Patrick, for coming on. Really,
love guys, man.
We enjoyed the conversation. It was good. Like I said to you before, off air, we're not here to scream or trigger anyone. We generally want to ask you questions and think like, why did this? And you guys have done brilliant. So just before you guys go, obviously the pleasantries and stuff. Patrick, if you want to let everyone know where they can find you, socials and everything.
Yeah. Patrick Tyrant on Twitter. Patrick Tyrant, all one word. Same as Insta. The P to the. I won't do all of that.
Hey, it's our beatboxer. We need to get a beatboxer as well, boy. He needs to spit his bars again, boy.
Just Patrick Tyrant on Twitter. Follow me on there, man.
Perfect. And Ryan, yourself, my man.
Yeah, just Fifth Officials YouTube channel and Ryan Madden 1991 on Twitter.
Perfect. And obviously, you know where you can catch the man them. Okay, gentlemen, any last few words before we say goodnight?
Yes. during this international break, if you guys want us to dissect any other teams, the embarrassment of Arsenal, Liverpool can't retain a title, embarrassing, 21 and 21, or Chelsea Champions League winners this season, I don't know. Whatever you guys want to talk about, it's up to you.
Do you see what he done there? Do you see what he
We
done
should
there?
have. We should have just ended this like.
Yeah,
before we
right.
started.
Like, literally,
Yeah.
everyone, good night. God bless. Seriously.